I'm Iris Acker, and we're on stage, and this program is titled Independent Films. Please say hello to Jennifer Dawson and Derek Latta. I think we'll start with the prize. You were the recipient of the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival Best Florida Short Film.
That's correct.
Best Florida Short Film. It was titled 40 Seconds. But the film was how long?
20 minutes.
Yes, 20 minutes.
20-minute film titled 40 Seconds.
Right.
It's fascinating. So you're actors in it, but so fortunately you're cast in it, but obviously you have more of a vested interest in this.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, it was supposed to play at FLIF the week the hurricane hit.
That's the Florida
International Film Festival.
Yeah.
FLIF is.
It was supposed to play then.
Yes, and it was actually that first week that the Hurricane Katrina came through, so it actually never ended up playing except for it got picked up at the end of the festival because the director liked it so much.
That's correct. They had a special screening for about 10 independent short films, and that was one of them. So it finally got on the screen like we wanted to, but not exactly the timing.
But like actually, I got a call like an hour before it was going on, so I mean, I couldn't even go see it.
Oh. Well, could it be entered into another film festival?
It will be. I mean, Ramiro Hernandez, who's the director of
Yes.
the movie, he's a very ambitious guy, energetic, just full of ideas, and he's going to enter it in other film festivals. He's working on another project right now called Blue Light, which I'm also acting in. So, it's going to be in other festivals, hopefully.
Yeah, if you go on the website, which is Fandango Pictures,
Yeah, I'm going to give him the website, yes.
It'll show, I think it's won or been selected for other festivals as well. I'm not quite sure.
Wow. Okay, so now here we are, and you're cast in this film, and it's won a prize, and maybe it'll win another one, maybe it'll be shown. Is there such a thing where you have short films that go commercial?
Well, actually, Ramiro got, he got asked about this film to maybe make it a full-length feature. So he was talking with somebody about that. So, I mean, these are the things that happen if it's a story that people like.
Correct. It's
Absolutely.
usually, it's almost like I kind of compare it to like a brochure. People get to see it. If they like it, maybe somebody's going to invest in it and say, listen, I love your idea. It's a great idea. Here's some money to make it. And that's what the short films usually are, a nice little calling card.
They can't be like a pilot for a full-length film.
They can sometimes. I mean, he wrote this as a short. But like I said, somebody came in and said, hey, we like the story. Let's talk about extending the end and creating more of a front story on the actors. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to have a 90-minute film.
Any difference for you as actors doing a short film versus a full-length feature film?
Oh, sure. The full-length feature films are very tiring. There's a lot of work involved. I mean, you're an actor, you know as well. It's a lot of work. Even making a short film is very, very time-consuming. A lot of energy is spent, and and these shorts, a lot of times, they're not the greatest paying projects, but you put a lot of your heart into it and emotion, and yeah. But I can imagine doing a feature film. You have a director coming on next that he does feature films, and it's a lot of work. I mean, it's physically.
This was shot in what, about 3 weekends, more or less, and then a lot of pickups here and there. And I mean, you invested your whole weekend.
Who's the writer?
The director, Ramiro Hernandez, is also the writer. He wrote and directed it, and he produced it. He has a John.
All right, let's talk about competition.
Okay.
How much competition? Do you know how many films were entered?
Oh, wow. I'm assuming thousands. I mean, not everything gets selected.
And is it one winner, or?
We actually tied.
Oh,
I know we tied. I don't know who the other person was, but yeah, there's usually one winner in that category.
Well, fortunately, we have a clip from the film.
Right.
Sure do.
Do you want to set it up, either of you? Tell me what we're going to see.
I'll set it up. It's basically the beginning of the film, and it will intro into kind of the relationship that these two have. Gives you an insight as to Derek's character and what he wants and needs from each other, and then it kind of gets a little scary at the end, and then boom, you don't know what's going to happen. So.
All right, well, let's watch the two of you right now.
Okay.
Here we go.
You know, you could have gone to my place.
No, I don't break promises. Besides, it's a nice night. Don't you ever have regrets? That thing wrapped around your wrist, doesn't it scare you sometimes to always know it?
I wouldn't take it like that. I mean,
It's fine.
stop. It's a beautiful night, like you said. I'd rather take a walk. I'm going to take a walk, okay?
What?
Yeah. I'll call you later.
Public has no idea what goes into the making of a film, really, because they go to the theater and you get there and you do it. If you make a mistake, you ad-lib or you cover it or something. But I mean, how many times do you have to do one scene over and over? Is there an average? Is there anything? I mean, even in a short film?
Well, it depends how many lines are involved, depends how good of an actor you are, and also the director. Sometimes the directors, they'll have it, very rarely they think they get it on 1 or 2 takes. Usually I'll have a couple more just for insurance, but I would say minimum of 4 or 5 takes each one.
That's not much.
I think performance is key, and also setup.
Performances, meaning?
You know, what the actor, gives.
And you're expected to repeat your performance.
Correct.
Yes.
Unless the director directs you otherwise,
Correct. Exactly.
The hardest thing, Iris, is when you're shooting a film, is you're shooting out a sequence. So a lot of times you have to change emotions. You know, earlier doing a shot where you're happy, next time you're doing it, a couple hours later you're doing the ending shot where you're devastated. So you have, as opposed to theater where it starts as a beginning, clear, end, and it's film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotions involved that you have to.
Yeah,
to really
especially
work
when you're working with sets and you say, we have to do all the shooting that we have on this set.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's like so disjointed. Oh my goodness, who am I now? Am I older? Am I younger?
Sure.
Yeah, and you're changing, and then you're going back, and depending on the lighting,
according
and
to
the
your
time
budget.
of the day.
Exactly.
Of course, you didn't have
What
a
budget?
budget to speak
Yeah,
of.
we
at all.
didn't
You
have
just,
a big budget, so
Right.
just
basically
did
at
it.
the mercy.
Well, tell me about your background a little bit.
Well, I was born in Michigan, a Scottish-Irish father, Colombian mother. I have 2 great brothers. My dad's still alive. My mother passed away of cancer 4 years ago, and that's when I got into acting. I made her a promise on her deathbed saying, you know, I've always wanted to pursue acting. Life is short. I'm just going to do it. I promised her, and that's what I'm doing, and I haven't looked back.
Now, did you study to become an actor, or specifically?
No, I never studied. I was kind of the school of thought where if you want to learn how to swim, you just jump in the water and start paddling. If I would have waited to study, I don't think I'd ever start working. I just started doing it. I had a real estate business card where I expanded my headshot. I sent it to all the agents in Miami. They called me up and they signed me on. I signed up with Green, one of the big ones, and from there I started going to all these auditions, started working, I haven't stopped working. I work a lot, do a lot of commercials, industrials, corporate videos, independent films, TV shows, a lot of print work, and that's why I met Jennifer also in one of our classes. I take workshops to keep learn a little bit more.
Well, there you go. That's training.
Exactly.
A
Absolutely.
workshop is training.
Oh yeah, but before starting, I never trained. But now, yes, I do train now.
I tell you the story, I did too. I never took classes until after I became a professional actress. And then I got scared and I said, maybe I should find out what I'm doing.
Right.
That's very funny.
Yes.
But so you had on-the-job training.
That's correct.
Simple as that.
The best kind, I believe.
Jennifer?
I started about 4 or 5 years ago, and
that's all.
Yeah, and I jumped into it, and I realized that I needed some kind of foundation, so I left it for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. I went to New World School of the Arts, then I went up and studied Atlantic Theater in New York, which is a David Mamet school, and kind of allowed that to create a process for me. And I mean, right down in South Florida, it's a big commercial market as far as
And you're a
independent
very
films.
good commercial chap, you both are.
Yeah, as far as independent films or whatnot, you know, it's few and far and in between. So if a project comes that sounds like a great script, you got to jump on it.
And transitions from, do you do theater, either of you?
A little bit of theater.
A little bit of theater. But transition, commercials and films, you know, the
Correct.
films, I find filmmaking very tough.
Yes.
Filmmaking is tough, especially on the actor, but I've found like auditioning, for instance,
Yes.
for theater and film, it's totally different. And I kind of had to step away from the theater auditions because I prefer film. And it was kind of, you know, as far as an actor, messing me up, in lack of better words. You know, you have to be so big and expressive and commercial. I mean, film
Films.
and TV is so tight.
Right.
Do less, that's all I keep
Yeah,
I
and
still
it's
do,
all, it has to be
because
really
I still do theater.
what you're feeling. So.
Do less, do less, do less.
less.
Bring it down, bring it
Yeah.
down. And while we say goodbye to you, we thank you
sad
so
to leave.
much.
Thank you
Yes.
for having me. Thank you, Jennifer.
While we're doing that, we're going to entertain the audience with a bit of your career.
Oh, yes.
We do call it in the trade a demo. So I wish you will, and I'd like to see you on that white screen as soon as
Thank you.
possible.
Ralph, no, you don't seem to understand. I have been wanting to be alone with you for so long.
Ralph, it's stop it.
There's no stronger force than faith.
You know what? You really need to learn how to let go. Because you can't control things that have happened in the past. You sure as hell can't control the future.
Yeah.
Came to see how you're doing.
Does that mean you're not leaving?
Meet my father.
Don't forget me. Don't forget me.
Tina tells me that you just became a notary. Did you take your vitamins?
I was going to get dressed first.
Yeah? And how's
Yes.
that working out? You know I love you, right?
I'm howling
It's just that jigsaw puzzles play such a meaningful role in my life. A profound role. They define me as a person. Socially, emotionally, economically.